here's some of my favorite accessories for the Nintendo Switch. Welcome back to 128KB, I'm Andy, and if you're new to the channel, go down there, hit that like and subscribe and share the video and all that good stuff, because it really does help us out. So yeah, I'm going to be going through my entire sort of must-have accessories, or at least the ones that I've got that I think are worthwhile buying, which I think you might need to get as well, possibly. So let's get started, shall we? So the first thing you might need, possibly, if you're going to be playing multiplayer or more docked, is more controllers. So there's so many different controllers on offer. You can get first party controllers like the Switch Pro controller, which I highly recommend. It's so good. I do have the Xenoblade version, which you can't get hold of really anymore, but it comes in black, just the standard Pro controller. It's so good. It's such a good controller. It's so well made. It's absolutely perfect. If you can afford it, this is the best option, but this is more expensive. So depending on where you are in the world, it is a little bit more expensive. But if not, then you have third-party controllers like this one from Power A. Of course, this is Christina's, being shiny, sort of metallic pink. And yeah, this is a wired controller, so you don't get any rumble, you don't get NFC, you don't get sort of motion control. So, you know, you get what you pay for, really. This is much, much cheaper, maybe a third of the cost of one of these, but it's still a great controller and Christina loves it. The other thing is, of course, more Joy-Cons. So we have the Legend of Zelda ones here, which were the Skyward Sword ones, which Christina did an unboxing and video of. If you are interested, you can go check that out. But more Joy-Cons is always a good idea because, you know, if you've got multiple people playing, then maybe Joy-Cons are easier to use because they're effectively like a controller each side, aren't they? So you get two for the price of one, essentially. And you can get loads of different versions and loads of different editions. And you can actually get third-party ones as well. But we'll be checking that out a little bit later because I'm getting something for Christmas that I'm going to do some videos on. So stick around, go down there and subscribe if you're not already. So controllers, absolutely must buy. So if you do fancy yourself as a bit of a retro gamer and you have Nintendo Switch Online or the expansion pack, then you definitely should check out these controllers if you're looking for a bit of fun. So the first one is the Super Nintendo controller, and I absolutely love this controller. It's so nice. I love everything about it because it's just old school. It's a perfect sort of representation of the original, but you still have the extra buttons here. You've got the ZL and the ZR, and then you have, you know, your sync button on the bottom. It's USB-C, it's wireless. It feels great. All the buttons are nice and clicky. Like, it's just so fun to play those SNES or even the NES games with this, which are on the sort of base Nintendo Switch Online service, let's call it that, and you can play all of these with this one. I don't have the NES ones, sadly, but you can buy those, but they come as like almost like Joy-Cons. They slide on either side of the system to charge, whereas this one you do need to charge it via that USB-C on the top there. But I love this controller. If you can find one, they're really hard to get hold of because they always sell out on the Nintendo store. This is the official one, but you can buy third-party ones from like 8BitDo or 8BitDo, however you say it, and those are really well regarded as well, but I haven't tested them myself. I've got the official one just here, so that's number one. Next up is the controller Genesis, so the Sega Mega Drive or the Sega Genesis controller. Now we've just done a video on this, so check it out. I've done a deep dive video all about this controller, how it feels, everything compared to the original, why I love it, what's so funny about it in this day and age compared to the 90s. Very cool. Now this is for use on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack because of the Sega Genesis or the Sega Mega Drive games that are available on there. So much fun to play those with this controller. So if you do have those services, check these out. And lastly is the Nintendo Switch, yeah, but the N64 controller. And again, we have a dedicated video all about this, as well as me playing through all the games and use. It looks really weird. The ergonomics are very strange, but it is perfect to play those N64 games on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. And again, if you can get one of these, they're a little bit hard to come by, then definitely grab one of these if you're going to play on those. So next up, if you do have some extra controllers, or maybe you've already got some but you want an accessory to protect them, then we have an inexpensive accessory that you can get as well, and that is these. These are thumbsticks or thumb like grips, and these particular ones are actually from Skull & Co, and I highly recommend these. These are excellent. excellent. I only just got them recently and I absolutely love them. So these ones here are for the Nintendo Switch Pro and as well as the PS5 or the PS4 because they have the same fixtures. But inside, if we take them out, obviously you can see that I've already got some, but I'll show you them installed as well. But inside you get like this little pack and you actually get 6, which is really cool. And if we take them out, you get different types. So you've got ones that are like this, which are really cool. They've got that like skull logo on them, which I really, really like. And they're all like grippy around the edges. And then you have these like big boy ones, which are like double stacked. So they're gonna go on the like right thumbstick to give you extra sort of reach and make the a little bit more accuracy, which is kind of cool. And then as well, you've got the ones that I've already installed, which are on here. And here we have the sort of like medium ones, which are super grippy, super grippy. Now I've got those exactly the same on both because I prefer them being the same height rather than like one being extra tall, but that's just my preference. These are super grippy. They do not slip and slide on that sort of thumbstick at all. They give you extra grip. And the best thing is, like I said, this controller is hard to come by and I don't want to ruin the actual thumbsticks. So putting these on not only protect, but also then give you more grip and just make it more enjoyable. So I massively advocate these. They also do these ones, which are for the Joy-Cons. So again, I'm not going to take these out. Again, it's a slightly different shape and then a double stacked one, which are like larger. And these are the ones that I've chosen, which are the sort of like slightly bigger ones. And I've put them on both sides, the exact same ones. And again, they give you extra grip. They do heighten it, just like adjust the height just a little bit to give you a bit more sort of accuracy again. But for me, it's all about protection. And again, they really stick on there. There's no way they're going to come off. The way that you install them is, if we get one, is we actually turn it over and then you kind of pop it inside out and then you put it over it and let go and it adjusts and clamps to the control stick itself. These are really, really cheap. I mean, a pack of these is under £10 here in the UK, or you can import them from China like I did, and I actually got 2 packs for under £10. And yeah, it took about 2 or 3 weeks to come, but you know, they're really good. They are really, really good. So I highly advocate getting some thumb grips if you want to protect your controllers. Now, I almost forgot about this one. So this is also a sort of alternative to Joy-Cons, and that is the Hori Split Pad Pro. So these are very, very cool. They're much larger than normal controllers or normal Joy-Cons. If we get the actual Switch itself, like take a look at this. It's a lot bigger, and we haven't done a dedicated video on these because I was going to feature them in another video soon, so you might see them, but I thought I'd talk about them anyway. It basically, for people with larger hands that find that Joy-Cons kind of cramp your hands up a little bit, it's a lot better essentially. So these are a lot larger, they fit in your hands better. These are like almost pro sticks. They're almost like Xbox controller joysticks in terms of the size. They're much bigger. You have the standard buttons, you've got turbo mode. So turbo means you can press like turbo and then like assign a button, and then that button, when you press and hold, will keep repeating it up to 5 times, 10 times or 15 times I think you can program it to. Or you can do it so that you just press the button once and then it will repeat until you press it again. It's pretty cool. You also have an assignable button on the back, which you can basically assign it to any of these other buttons if you want to. This is from the like Daemon X Machina or whatever that game was called version. These are old. I've had these for ages, but they're actually really good. The only sad thing is they're not wireless. There's no internal battery. There's no rumble. There's no NFC support, and there's no motion support. So they're basically only work once they're on the Switch. So they're just for handheld play, but they do feel really nice. I am a big fan of these, and it's an alternative. You know, you can find them in all different colors and shapes and sizes now. There's like Animal Crossing ones and all sorts of other ones, which I love the look of. You can get like Pokemon ones and stuff. I've just got the boring like original ones, but they are really cool. And the D-pad, it's got a D-pad on it. You know, it's got a D-pad. So and it's quite nice too. So that's an alternative to Joy-Cons if you wanted something else. So next up, if you love handheld gaming on your Nintendo Switch, then this is probably the accessory for you. So we've got two accessories here, and they're grips. So these are actually older ones. These are for the original Switch, not the Switch OLED. So I still need to buy them, but we'll talk about them in a minute. But you can buy specific ones for the Switch OLED, but these are for the original one. And this is from Skull & Co. Mine's a little bit battered because I've had it in like a drawer and I've used it a lot, but you can change out these side grips. We actually have full-blown in-depth reviews about both of these grips, so I'd highly recommend that you check those out because I go full on in-depth and in detail about what's good about them and what's not good about each specific one and which one you might want other than the other, if that makes any sense. But yeah, these are really cool. They basically give you extra support in your hands. Now this actually, the Skull & Co one kind of covers your entire Switch for like better protection, but then it does make it a little bit more mushy with these sort of like controller bits here, but you do have the option of changing out these panels to different sort of shapes and sizes. So that is an option there. Or you've got, oh, drop it, Andy. Or you've got the Satisfy Zen Grip Pro. Now this I prefer. The Switch just slides into it. It does stand up as well, whereas this one doesn't. You know, it just falls over. But the Switch goes in there. These little rubber grips here stop the Switch from ever touching the plastic. So this will never scratch your Switch either, which I really like. It's got a bigger angled out flare on the right-hand side compared to the left, because that's where your thumb stick is going to be on the Joy-Cons. So you leave the normal Joy-Cons on for this one. Now, I really love this. This was my favorite one. But again, I've got full-blown in-depth videos about these, so go and watch those. However, if you've got a new OLED model, don't worry, both Skull & Co and Satisfy have got brand new grips just for the OLED model. Now, I don't have them because the Satisfy grip has just come out, and the Skull & Co one has been out for a little while, but being here in the UK means I'm gonna have to import them from America, and well, I'm gonna have to pay fees for that. So I'm kind of waiting to see if they come to the UK, and if they don't, well then I'll just buy them and import them eventually anyway, but fingers crossed that they come to the UK. So if you wanna see some videos on those, go down and subscribe, because one day we'll do some videos, I'm sure. But anyway, you definitely wanna get some grips here. It does help your hands. So it stops you from like cramping up. It helps play like with the joysticks, like it makes the movements better, because with the Joy-Cons your hands are kind of cramped up, whereas these kind of make your hands at a better angle that kind of just make gaming handheld a lot nicer essentially. Or like I said, you could go for these Hori grips here, which are like alternatives because they kind of do the same thing. So you could do that instead if you wanted to. Now next up is if you're traveling with your Switch, then you want to protect it, right? And I highly recommend that you get a case. Now personally, I haven't actually used this case since I had the original 2017 Switch, and I don't really want to put my OLED in here because it's probably a little bit small, but this case in particular has like a little game holder and you can put some accessories in there if you want to, but this is the Mario Odyssey case that came out when the Switch originally launched, and it's soft. So you can get different kinds of cases, soft ones like this, or you can get like hard shell ones, which is what I'm going to end up buying for my Switch OLED because I want the ultimate protection for it, okay? So you can get different ones from different companies. To be honest, I'll just get what you can afford, have a look on Amazon or wherever and look at the reviews, and whether or not you want a soft case or a hard case or like a full-blown case to put your dock in and everything else, well then those are options too, but I definitely recommend getting a case to store it because it's going to just help protect that Switch of yours, which you want to keep safe, right? Now lastly is the same thing. If you're traveling at all with your Switch and you like physical games like I do have digital games as well, but we actually have a video showing my entire Nintendo Switch collection, so go and check that out. But it has grown since then already. Andy, stop buying games. But anyway, if you do, then you're going to want some of these, and these are game cases. So this one here is from Minecraft, and you get game cases here. So you got 9 on each side. Oh, come on, Andy, count. 3, 6. So you get 12 in total, and you can put your games in here. Or if you want something else, you've got this one just here, and this has even more. So you can sort of get your games in each side there. And I already have too many games, so these are already filled up, and I've already got games that need to be cased, but I don't have enough. But this is actually quite good. The only thing I would say with this one, people's complaints are that the games go in there really hard. Now there is a solution for that. So if you're worried about taking your games out and like breaking them, don't worry. There's like a specific way to take them in and out, which they don't tell you about, which is kind of annoying. But the way that you put them in, if I take one out, the way that you put them in is you kind of want to put the edge into the center and then push down. And the same on this side, you get the center piece side in first and then push down. And to get them out, get your nail under the side and then just pull them out. So down like that, and I've never had an issue, comes out nice and easily. Whereas if you're kind of like fumbling around and like yanking it, well then this grips quite hardly and you could break one of your games. But as long as you do the method I've just shown you, you'll be absolutely fine. Now with a case like this, which is just rubber essentially, well this is easy. Like it's really, really easy. And there is like room for SD cards underneath, but you just put it in and there you go, no worries about that. But any kind of game case will be worth it. Depends how many games you've got, but you probably want to put them in cases rather than going through all of your big cases, if that makes sense. But these are ideal for me. I need to buy some more already. So that has been my top accessories for the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure I've missed out on loads. There's far more controllers, far more third-party Joy-Cons, but make sure to stick around because like I said, we've got a pair of third-party Joy-Cons that I'm going to review very, very soon. But that's the accessories I think you need. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what kind of accessories you have or what you're looking to buy, or if you liked any of the ones that I've shown you here today. Let us know down in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this video if you want to. And as well, check out our website, 128KB. I'm Andy, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.